Hey, I just want to share with you, I know you're younger and you're coming from a crazy time. You know, it says in Kabbalah that before the coming of the Mashiach, which is the time that we're in right now, you'll have to use the wisdom in your inner heart just to remain sane. God is speaking to us. When you hear a voice inside of you giving you advice, that's God, the Creator. Now, obviously, if you have two people, one of them saying go right, the other saying go left, one of them is right, one of them is wrong. There's a tendency amongst people is that we don't want anyone to be wrong because we don't want to offend them. Well, someone is wrong, and it doesn't mean that you're offending someone by saying they're wrong. It just means that either their own motivations have created an illogical premise, or someone else's created an illogical premise and they're following it, right? Not all religions can be right. Different religions say opposing things. So maybe some religions were started by megalomaniacs who wanted to be a messiah or something. So the bottom line is that you can't say that two opposites are both right. Two opposites are not both right. There's one right and there's one wrong. And one is literally going to lead you to heaven and the other is literally going to lead you to hell. One is going to be good and the other is bad. And the reason I'm making this video is because there's been a tremendous brainwashing about these liberalistic ideas, which basically were highly influenced by Russian disinformation. Now, Russia, of course, was based on communism, and communism was based on Karl Marx. And Karl Marx was a radical. He was out of his mind. And the proof is what he accomplished. Communism was a draconian evil and it was stupid. But basically what communism was against was capitalism. It was against the wealthy, like Karl Marx ends his book, Workers of the World Unite. But the problem is that, of course, and this is very critical and this is why I'm making the video, is that, and this is something one of the great geniuses of America, Milton Friedman, who, in fact, I think he was a Secretary of Commerce for a while. So he said that governments don't have money. This is a mistake that a lot of people make. And they think governments are like this massive corporation that has money. Or sometimes people even make this mistake about corporations. Like this corporation has an infinite amount of money. A corporation can only make money by selling something. A corporation doesn't have money. So Bill Gates didn't start off with money. He had a product and he sold a product. If you sell more of the product, not only that, if your profit exceeds your expenses, which is not a simple thing to do, you have to create a good product and your profit has to exceed your expenses. And then you have money. And the same thing is with the government. If a government exceeds its expenses, then it has to borrow money. In fact, the U.S. government is highly in debt to the tune of $20 trillion. Now, people trust the U.S. government, which is why they are willing to buy a government bond. But the point of the matter is that the government not only doesn't make money, the government is in debt. Okay, but let's focus on something else. How does the government make money apart from sending out these IOUs, which only works if people trust that the government's going to pay it back? And the answer, of course, is they'd make it by taxes. But again, how do taxes make money? That's by businesses. And how do businesses make money? That's by the business having a profit margin. So what the crazy liberalistic ideology says is, number one, let's hike up the taxes because rich people, they're just raping the country. Obviously, nobody has to buy what they're offering, but somehow they've become the bad guy because that was the Karl Marx ideology, which was fed into our society by Russian disinformation, which is going on for generations. And the other thing is, let's take the government money and let's use that and distribute it to everyone else. So I have two questions. If you get rid of the government's ability to make money, right, so you're going to increase the taxes. So now Let's say the corporation is Microsoft. So Microsoft can't make money because if Microsoft, let's say, has to pay 70% taxes instead of 30% taxes, you've just taken away their profit margin. And if you think people are going to invest a lot of money, I mean, there was a country that did this, France. Nobody's investing money in France. Why? Because who wants to invest money to pay taxes? Nobody does that. People invest money to make money. It's really simple. If I said, here, I'm going to give you $1, and in exchange for giving me this $1, you're going to have to give me $1.10. So nobody would do that. If I say I'm going to give you $1, and then you can have, 30% of the $1, so you're going to end up with 30 cents, give me back 70 cents. You would do it. You're making 30. So the point is that there's a margin of where the time and effort, because there's always a risk, you never know if your product's going to sell, where that time and effort spent is worth it for the possible reward. Once you start to increase the tax and you say, well, actually, maybe the reward is going to be 30%. Now remember, that's just what the company has to pay in taxes. Then the individual who makes money from the company has to pay. And these crazy people, they want to just charge everybody as much. If they could, they would just say, work for the government, give me the money and give it out to the poor, right? That's what they would do. But would you do that? Would you suddenly become the stupid sucker? Are the smartest people in the world going to become the suckers of you? I don't think so. I have a simple principle. You'll never con the rich. You know why? Because the one thing they know, and I don't think the rich are the smartest people in the world, but they're not the dumbest. One thing they know how to do is manage money. A lot of people, they win lottos and they go broke. They don't know how to manage money. Managing money is an art. It's an art that a lot of people don't have. I mean, I happen to have a very good heart. If I had a lot of money, it would be gone. It would be gone very quickly. I'd just give it all away. So am I good at managing money? The answer is no. Am I a nice guy? I'm a very nice guy. I'm not good at managing money. So the simple thing is that, and the reason I'm making this video is that the way you help people is you have to do three things. Number one, you have to have a strong government. You have to have a government that protects the rights of businesses. If you don't have that, business people don't have an incentive to make money. If they don't make money, then never mind the perception of the government, which gives it the ability to borrow money. But there is no taxable income and the government becomes poor. The government has no money to distribute. Just look at all the African governments. They have no money. Even if they wanted to be kind, they can't be kind. They don't have money to be kind with. So number one, you have to have a good government that creates solid laws. If you tell me to buy a property, but somebody else can just take that property, I will never invest in a property. So it has to protect the rights of the business owner, which is basic decency, the rights of buying and selling. The next thing is you have to actually have a low tax bracket because you want to encourage people to invest money. That's how they make money. They create products. And not only do they make it here, basically one of the things America's good at is innovation. So they sell those products to the whole world. So America makes more money through these products. But the third thing, and this is the only way, and this is the way God tells us in the Bible, and this is the way this worked for thousands of years, charity comes from the heart. You have to encourage people. Who gives the most charity? Wealthy people. Warren Buffett, Bill Gates are from the wealthiest people. They've dedicated their fortunes to charity. They're going to do more charity than probably 90% of the people on our planet put together. So charity comes from love. So you have to encourage people. Don't go and shame, oh, you're so bad. That's not going to get charity. Charity comes from, you're so good. You're such a wonderful person. Help this person out. This is our contribution. In fact, Americans are the second, based on a major Gallup thing, we're the second kindest nation in the world. And so the radical idea of taking people's money and distributing it, first of all, is not logical. It won't work. And second of all, it's not actually about charity. It's actually about jealousy of money. And that's why people like Obama, these socialists, they are very, very, very rich. He's got this gorgeous mansion. And yet, they want to take everyone else's money because actually they're all about money. They're jealous of money. But they don't realize how to make it. It comes from innovation, comes from hard work. So what they think is, well, those people stole it, so I'm going to steal it from them. That, my friends, is of course not true.